Ladies and gentlemen, Luka Doncic is truly a different breed. When you have a player who can affect the game in every single way, this is when you know you're dealing with a one-of-a-kind type of player. And trust me, when I say every single way, I literally mean every single way. It's no coincidence that Luka once stated that it's easier to score in the NBA than the EuroLeague, because when you watch the way Luka operates on the floor, you can see that he makes the game look rather easy when it's actually highly difficult. At just 24 years old, Luka has already put his name in the record books, has become a fan favorite, and to some even their stepdad, and all in all has redefined the notion of what it means to be a complete NBA basketball player. Luka's scoring is nothing short of extraordinary, as he has an arsenal of offensive weapons that allow him to dominate from all areas on the court, while not only using finesse, but also while being very efficient. Having the best season of his career so far, Luka leads the league in points per game with 34 a night, while adding in 8 rebounds and 9 assists per game, while knocking down 49% of his shots from the field and 37% of his three-pointers. As you can see from just the base numbers, Doncic can score from pretty much anywhere on the floor, whether it's draining three-pointers with precision, driving to the rim with strength and agility, or orchestrating the offense with his sublime passing. With this ability to effortlessly switch gears and adapt to any defensive scheme thrown his way, it makes him a nightmare for opposing teams on any given night. But you know what? There's something that separates Luka apart from everyone else. It's not that he can just score the ball just as good as the greats, but he's one of the most elite passers the NBA has ever seen. Doncic sees the game unfold in slow motion, and with this, he's able to thread the needle and deliver downs with pinpoint accuracy, and before anyone else can even notice what's going on, Luka is already anticipating his next target. For the defense, they can't afford to be lazy once the ball ends up in his hands, because before they can get back and set up, Luka is already sending the pass out the pocket for a teammate to score on the other end. With him surrounded by athletic guys, if you don't watch out for those cutting behind you, well, it'll end off with an emphatic slam. Oh my god. And other times, it'll still be a nice dunk inside, but the delivery of the pass is even more slick. While his ability to thread the needle and find teammates in stride on the fast break is mesmerizing, it's his precision and creativity in the half court that truly sets him apart. As the game slows down and the defense is actually able to set up, Luka's vision becomes even more apparent. Whether it's a no-look down to a cutting teammate, a kick out across the court, or a perfectly timed lob over the defense, Luka can manipulate the game in many different ways and create passing lanes that the average point guard doesn't even know exist. It's times where you may think that all passing angles are gone and Luka is in no man's land, but with him always being a step ahead of the defense, that's when this behind the back pass gets broken out and leads into a Williams three-pointer. Defenses will choose to allocate a ton of attention to Doncic when he's out there operating on the floor, but this is when one of his guys can sneak behind the defender and that alley-oop connection is flawless. Honestly, you must stay on your P's and Q's when Luka is finding his targets, because when he gets inside to break down the defense, you may think the pass is going to this corner, or you may think it's going to this corner. But with his elite skills, he can put the pass in a place where only Lively can catch it, and it's the easy slam inside. This ability to read the game like a seasoned chess player is what takes things to another level, as he can anticipate defensive rotations before they even happen, often making the right pass just milliseconds before the defense can react. If you watch here, when Luka comes off this screen, Derrick Jones Jr. is back screening Lopez. So now with Maxey rolling towards the rim and Lopez caught up on Jr., this forces the smaller Dame to switch on to Maxey, and now it's an easy lob over the top. As he works out this triple threat, once Luka gets in the air, he moves the defense with his eyes by looking towards the corner, so now with the shift happening, he can fling it to the slot area and Jones Jr. can soar in to lay it in over Durant. It's this combination of anticipation, precision, and basketball IQ that makes Luka's half-court passing a thing of beauty. When dealing with Doncic, what looks like a routine possession can turn into a highlight play at any time, and all out leave the defense lost when he finds the holes to exploit. But just as he finds those gaps in the defense to send passes through, Luka takes the skill of identifying gaps in the defense when he puts the ball on the floor to seamlessly work into his driving. When attacking the rack, his driving skills are a blend of power and finesse, as he weaves through defenders like a skilled racer, but also possesses the strength to finish through contact with ease. With the paint being wide open as both rim protectors are out on the perimeter, Luka knows this is where he wants to get. So immediately he shifts back the other way to split the defense, and although Kyle Anderson rotates over, Doncic can step around him to kiss this off the glass. His navigation on the court is truly amazing, as he'll make defenders look like cones when he goes around them, and if you watch closely on this play, it may look like a travel in real time, but when slowed down, you can see Luka use an inverted Euro to then lay it in with that left hand. This footwork is just nasty, and will catch the defense off guard a lot of the time, because when you're least expecting it, here comes this nasty Euro. Defenders may anticipate the drive and set for a charge, but this just gives Luka an easy bucket inside. But even more than that, when he hits you with that mink to then convert the and one, this is when you know he's different. If you ask me, Luka's driving skills are madly underrated because on 18 drops per game, he attempts 8 shots off of these and converts them at a 61% rate. Yeah, it's quite ridiculous. And when looking at all players that do attempt more than 7 shots off the drive, Luka is number 1 in conversion rate. There's many things that lead to his rather great rim running skills, such as times where the defense thinks the lob may come off the pick and roll, so they stay back, which allows him to double clutch this lay. And with the handle, he's able to shift the defense back and forth before getting crafty with the spin move to connect on the and one. These things help him convert inside, but when we really analyze what makes up for most of Luka's drives to the rack, it's his ability to use the handle to get the defense flat-footed before attacking that lead foot to go by them. When the defender has that foot up high, Luka will change directions in a split second while shifting his weight to explode out past the defender to get downhill. As he slows it down to size up Giannis, you can see once Giannis' lead foot gets up high, Luka attacks it abruptly, which makes Giannis open up completely, allowing Doncic to get to the rim. It doesn't matter who he has in front of him, Doncic will use that size up hezzy to make them step up to him, but wham! Once those hips are shifted, Luka will make you open up going the other way, and with you being just a step behind him, this results in an and one. Other times, it might take a couple moves to get the defender to bring that foot up, but once they do, best believe Luka is going to exploit them. So I'm telling all of you, as you watch Doncic now, you'll start to notice these attacks of the lead foot, which generate tons of buckets for him, but he's not just limited to that, as he can get crafty as we discussed earlier, and then with his 6'7", 230-pound frame, he can get physical inside if needed to go get a bucket. All this value so far comes from Luka scoring inside and passing skills, but when you look at his shot creation, it takes his game to another level. From the mid-range, Luka is connecting on 45% of his 198 attempts, and from deep, he's reining in 37% of his shots. When it comes to making room for himself on the court and getting that daylight to get shots up, Luka has become a master at this. It only takes a slither amount of space for him to get the shot off, and once he does, well, you're just hoping that he misses. I once described his game as slow cooking offense because although he may not be the quickest guy on the court, he can move at his lower level of speed, and with the ability to get to his spots, he'll put you on that burner. Just like when he landed in no man's land earlier with the pass, it'll look like he's smothered with 3 defenders around him, but with his calmness, Luka can launch off 1 foot to knock down his fadeaway midi. I mean really, you gotta be ready for anything when it comes to Doncic creating, because out of nowhere, he'll get into a spin away from you, then can stay patient and let you fly by, and everybody say it with me, it's cash money. Learning how to create shots for yourself in many ways is what will separate you from most guys in the league, because while most only have 1 or 2 ways to get into a shot, Luka's creativity is endless and will keep the defense on their toes. He can serve the crossover to get downhill, but once AD slides over to stop him, he can opt into a mid-range pull-up. If he needs to create that separation from the defense, he can deliver the bump not only once, but twice to then lean back to drop it in. If you try to ride his hip and stay attached, well, he'll get crafty and draw the foul to knock down the bucket despite the contact for the and one. And listen, when he's truly in his zone, he has no worry about the defense and will let it fly from 30 feet to nail it in your face. To come across a talent like Luka Doncic is something that doesn't happen often. With Dallas turning the corner and Luka having the best season of his career, this is truly an MVP season we are witnessing from Doncic, and if we look at current and past players, Luka Doncic might just be the most complete player we have ever seen. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe before heading out. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.